Picture this: a city skyline glittering like a diamond, rooftop bars packed with influencers, Teslas gliding past marble lobbies, and just a few blocks away, a mother tucks her child into a tent under a freeway. Welcome to the American paradox, where dreams are sold at full price, but thousands can't even afford a pillow. We're talking billion-dollar tech hubs where people sleep in cardboard boxes, and sun-kissed beach cities where the rent is higher than the clouds. Luxury and poverty now share the same zip code. In today's video, we're diving into America's 10 worst cities for homelessness in 2025. Number 10. San Francisco, California. San Francisco, the city of sourdough, tech billionaires, cable cars, and tents? Yep. In 2025, the homelessness crisis in this glittering city by the bay has hit rock bottom. Despite being one of the richest metro areas in the US, with a median household income of $136,000, the city is home to over 8,300 homeless individuals. And that's just the official count. Walk down Market Street or the Tenderloin, and you'll see makeshift tent cities lining sidewalks just blocks away from $10 million tech penthouses. That contrast? Brutal. What's fueling it? Well, for starters, housing is outrageously expensive. The median home price in SF is now sitting at $1.3 million, while average monthly rent is around $3,200 for a one-bedroom apartment. Even a basic studio can cost more than $2,500 a month. And with inflation and stagnant wages outside the tech sector, thousands of residents are one bad break away from losing everything. Even worse, San Francisco's unsheltered homelessness rate is among the highest in the nation. Roughly 60% of homeless individuals here are sleeping outside or in vehicles. That's far higher than New York's rate, where most unhoused individuals are at least in temporary shelters. And despite the city spending over $672 million annually on homelessness programs, many argue the results are nowhere near visible. The irony? San Francisco has the highest number of billionaires per capita in America, yet thousands live without roofs. Locals call it the city of extremes, where someone can sip a $7 oat milk latte on one block and see someone sleeping under a pile of blankets on the next. It's a human tragedy wrapped in a tech utopia. If there's any city that captures the soul of America's homelessness paradox, it's this one. Number 9. Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, where the sun blazes, the cacti stand tall, and sadly, so do the homeless encampments. In 2025, Phoenix is facing one of the fastest-growing homelessness crises in America, with over 9,400 homeless individuals reported in the most recent point-in-time count, a number that's doubled since 2017. And the worst part? Over half of them are unsheltered, enduring 110-degree days under tarps or in cars. Phoenix isn't a city with sky-high rents like San Francisco, but housing is still getting out of reach fast. The median home price here has jumped to around $429,000, and rents have climbed to an average of $1,512 per month. That might seem affordable for coastal folks, but not when local wages haven't kept up. The median household income is just $71,000, which doesn't go far when inflation hits groceries, gas, and rent all at once. The situation became so severe that in 2023, a federal judge ordered the city to clear out its largest homeless encampment, called The Zone. But removing tents didn't fix the root issue. People simply relocated, often to worse conditions. Many shelters are operating at or near full capacity, and affordable housing developments can't be built fast enough. Phoenix's growth has been a double-edged sword. It was one of the top destinations for Californians seeking lower costs, but that demand spiked prices and strained services. Combine that with extreme heat, limited public transit, and a shortage of mental health services, and you've got a humanitarian emergency in the desert. Despite efforts, the crisis is heating up, literally and figuratively. Phoenix shows us that you don't need skyscraper prices to end up with a serious homelessness problem. Sometimes, all it takes is a city growing too fast for its own infrastructure. Number 8. Oakland, California. Oakland, the city across the bay that's rich in culture, soul, and unfortunately, homelessness. In 2025, Oakland's homelessness count has climbed to over 9,450 people, a staggering number for a city with fewer than 500,000 residents. That means about 1 in every 50 residents is unhoused, one of the highest per capita rates in the country. So, what's causing the crisis? For starters, Oakland's housing market has gone wild. The median home price now sits at $780,000, while average rent is around $2,550 per month. Many Oaklanders are longtime residents pushed out by the Silicon Valley overflow. People priced out of San Francisco or San Jose end up here, putting pressure on housing, driving up costs, and displacing others. Oakland's homeless crisis is uniquely visible. Entire streets like Wood Street have become encampment zones, with dozens of RVs and tents stretching block after block. Roughly 75% of the homeless population here is unsheltered, living outdoors in conditions that worsen every winter with flooding and health risks. Despite spending over $120 million annually on homeless services, the city is struggling. There's not enough affordable housing, and zoning battles slow down new developments. Plus, mental health services are underfunded, and many unhoused individuals suffer from untreated conditions. The city is trying. They've opened tiny home villages and safe parking sites, but the scale of need far outpaces what's available, and tensions are rising. Residents complain about trash, fires, and safety, while homeless advocates point to systemic failures and skyrocketing inequality. Oakland's story is about displacement. It's a place with deep roots and vibrant communities, now grappling with what happens when the cost of living grows faster than the people living there can keep up. It's a crisis of compassion, policy, and affordability. Number 7. San Jose, California. San Jose might be the heart of Silicon Valley, home to tech titans and billion-dollar companies, but it's also home to over 10,400 homeless individuals, making it one of the worst-hit cities in the U.S. The contrast is jarring. You've got luxury campuses like Google and Apple nearby, yet tents line the creeks and underpasses just blocks away. With a median home price of $1.2 million, San Jose is the most expensive large city for homeownership in the country. Rent? A jaw-dropping $3,150 per month on average for a one-bedroom. That's nearly double the national average, and even professionals earning six figures feel the squeeze. The median household income here is high, around $132,000. But that's barely enough to stay afloat unless you're in tech. The city's geography doesn't help. With limited land, restrictive zoning, and fierce NIMBY, not in my backyard resistance, it's tough to build affordable housing. Only about 30% of the city's homeless population is sheltered, leaving thousands on the streets, in cars, or along the infamous Coyote Creek encampments. Despite spending more than $250 million annually on homelessness and housing initiatives, the crisis persists. New projects face delays, and temporary shelters fill up quickly. Meanwhile, tech wealth continues to surge, deepening the divide between those who thrive and those who fall through the cracks. There's a dark irony here. San Jose was once considered the American dream: innovation, opportunity, prosperity. But in 2025, it's become a tale of two cities, one that codes in glass towers and another that sleeps under bridges. The city is working on long-term fixes, like Project Homekey and permanent supportive housing, but for thousands of people, help is still years away. San Jose's homelessness problem is proof that prosperity alone doesn't fix poverty, not when housing eats up your entire paycheck before you even finish your coffee. Number 6. Denver, Colorado. Denver, the mile-high city known for its breathtaking mountain views and craft breweries, is facing a homelessness crisis that's far from scenic. As of 2025, more than 14,300 people in Denver are homeless, a sharp rise of nearly 40% in just the past 5 years. And what's truly alarming is that over 65% of them are unsheltered, braving brutal winters and scorching summers with little more than tarps and tents. Denver's housing market has spiraled out of control. The median home price has climbed to $652,000, and monthly rent averages around $2,200. With a median household income of $85,000, many residents are spending over 40% of their income on rent, far above the affordability threshold. When housing eats that much of your paycheck, one unexpected bill can push people out of their homes. Encampments have grown visibly across downtown and even into suburban areas. The city's Safe Outdoor Spaces program has tried to create more humane temporary living setups, but the demand is overwhelming. Shelters are constantly at capacity, and affordable housing developments can't keep up. Denver is spending big, over $250 million annually on housing initiatives, supportive services, and mental health outreach. But like many fast-growing cities, the pace of development has outpaced support systems. Add in the fentanyl crisis and a growing mental health emergency, and it becomes clear that the homelessness issue here is more than just a housing problem. What makes Denver's situation unique is the sheer number of working individuals who are homeless. People with jobs, sometimes even two, are living in cars or RVs because they simply can't afford rent. It's a sobering sign that homelessness isn't just about unemployment anymore. It's about affordability, plain and simple. Number 5. San Diego, California. San Diego may have palm trees and sunshine, but it's also got a growing population of unhoused residents struggling to survive in paradise. In 2025, San Diego has surged past 10,600 homeless individuals, with a startling 68% of them living unsheltered, one of the highest rates among major U.S. cities. Housing affordability is a key villain in this story. The median home price in San Diego is now over $870,000, and rents have skyrocketed to an average of $2,800 per month. Pair that with a median household income of $89,000, and you've got thousands of people one paycheck away from disaster. Even service workers with full-time jobs, the ones keeping the city's tourism and hospitality industries afloat, are finding themselves priced out. Downtown San Diego has become a hotspot for visible homelessness. Tent encampments line sidewalks, especially in East Village and along Interstate 5. The city has ramped up sweeps and law enforcement crackdowns, but critics argue those actions do little to solve the core issue: lack of housing. In fact, eviction filings have increased by 20% in the past year, pushing even more families into instability. San Diego County has invested more than $300 million this year into homeless programs, but with rising costs, it's like trying to plug a leaky ship with chewing gum. Meanwhile, new housing developments face regulatory hurdles, neighborhood opposition, and slow timelines. What really sets San Diego apart is its climate, which unfortunately attracts people from colder regions seeking safer conditions for street living. It's both a blessing and a curse, making homelessness more visible year-round. While the city boasts one of the best climates in the nation, the same sunshine casts harsh shadows on the people forced to call its streets home. Number 4. Seattle, Washington. Seattle, home to Amazon, Starbucks, and Microsoft, is also making headlines for something far less glamorous: homelessness. In 2025, the Emerald City has seen its unhoused population swell to over 16,900 people, a staggering 23% increase since 2022. And with nearly half of them living unsheltered, the issue is now unavoidable in neighborhoods from Capitol Hill to Ballard. Seattle isn't cheap. The median home price is around $840,000, and rents average $2,600 per month. Despite a median household income of $110,000, rising costs have outpaced wage growth, and for those not in tech, it's increasingly difficult to stay housed. Even middle-income families are being squeezed, especially with childcare, healthcare, and transportation costs all rising alongside rent. Encampments have become a fixture in public parks, under highway overpasses, and near schools. The city has poured $250 million into homeless response efforts, including expanded shelter options, mental health services, and affordable housing initiatives. However, demand continues to outpace supply, and new housing construction is bogged down in red tape. What makes Seattle's crisis even more tragic is the weather. Cold, rainy winters make life on the streets incredibly harsh. Shelters fill up quickly, and those who can't find space are left exposed. The city has piloted tiny house villages and safe lots for people living in cars, but the scale is still too small. Seattle's challenge is made worse by the rapid tech boom. For every new luxury condo downtown, there's another group of residents getting priced out of older housing. Many critics argue that zoning policies and land use restrictions have contributed to the problem by limiting affordable development. It's a city of contrasts, innovation on one side, desperation on the other. Seattle's homelessness crisis is no longer a warning sign. It's a full-blown emergency, with real lives caught in the middle of the tech gold rush. Number 3. Chicago, Illinois. Chicago might be known for deep dish pizza, skyscrapers, and legendary sports teams. But in 2025, it's also battling a chilling homelessness crisis. The city currently has over 18,800 homeless individuals, and that's likely a lowball. Advocacy groups estimate the real number could be closer to 68,000 when including people who are doubled up, crashing with friends or relatives due to lack of stable housing. What makes Chicago's situation particularly harsh is the weather. Frigid winters with sub-zero wind chills make being unsheltered not just difficult, but downright dangerous. In 2023 alone, at least 24 people died of exposure-related causes on the streets. That number continues to rise. Despite a relatively affordable housing market compared to coastal cities, the median home price in Chicago is around $325,000, and average rent sits at $1,780 per month. But with a median household income of $65,000, many residents are spending far more than the recommended 30% of income on housing. And when job loss, medical bills, or eviction strikes, homelessness isn't far behind. The city spends approximately $300 million annually on homeless services, including shelters, outreach, and transitional housing programs. Yet demand is so high that most shelters operate at near full capacity every night. And while new housing initiatives are in motion, red tape and limited funding keep things slow. Encampments are increasingly visible in places like Lower Wacker Drive and under the Dan Ryan Expressway. While city officials regularly clear them out, residents often return because there's simply nowhere else to go. Chicago's crisis isn't just a housing problem. It's a systemic breakdown fueled by economic hardship, racial inequality, and public service gaps. In 2025, the Windy City is facing a storm, one that won't blow over without serious structural change. Number 2. Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles is the city of movie stars, palm trees, and endless sunshine. But behind the Hollywood sparkle lies one of America's worst humanitarian crises. In 2025, LA has more than 71,200 homeless individuals, making it the second highest in the nation and rising fast. What's even more alarming? Over 75% of them are unsheltered, sleeping in tents, cars, or directly on the streets. The median home price in LA is now a jaw-dropping $915,000, and average rent hovers around $3,000 per month. With a median household income of $74,000, the math simply doesn't work for millions of residents. Even people with steady jobs, baristas, security guards, delivery drivers, are living in RVs parked along Venice Boulevard or in alleyway tents downtown. Skid Row remains the epicenter of LA's crisis, housing an estimated 4,400 people in a few dozen blocks. But encampments have spread citywide, from the beaches of Santa Monica to the San Fernando Valley. Despite LA County spending over $1.3 billion annually on homeless services, the crisis continues to grow. The reasons are complex. There's a massive shortage of affordable units. It's estimated the county needs over 500,000 more to meet demand. Mental health and addiction services are overwhelmed, and eviction protections that helped during the pandemic have now expired. LA's response includes permanent supportive housing, tiny homes, and bridge shelters. But the pipeline is slow. Meanwhile, the visibility of homelessness sparks political clashes and neighborhood frustration. Some residents want tougher enforcement, others demand more compassionate care. Los Angeles isn't just in a housing crisis, it's in a moral one. The wealth, beauty, and innovation are all there, but so is the suffering. And until affordable housing becomes reality instead of rhetoric, LA's streets will remain scenes of heartbreak instead of hope. Number 1. New York City. New York City, the Big Apple, the city that never sleeps, the financial capital of the world, is also home to America's largest homeless population. In 2025, over 140,000 individuals experience homelessness in NYC, including tens of thousands of children. And that's not even counting the estimated 350,000 people living doubled up, sleeping on couches, floors, or packed into small apartments just to avoid the streets. Unlike West Coast cities, most of NYC's homeless population is sheltered, about 94%, thanks to the city's right to shelter law. But shelters are overwhelmed, underfunded, and often unsafe. Many people prefer sleeping on subways or in tents in parks rather than dealing with overcrowded conditions. The cost of living in NYC is brutal. The median rent is now $3,650 a month, and in Manhattan, it's pushing $4,400. Buying a home? You're looking at a median price of $760,000, and that's on the low end for Brooklyn or Queens. Meanwhile, the median household income in NYC is just $75,000, making it nearly impossible for low or middle-income earners to stay afloat. The city spends over $4 billion per year on homeless services, the largest amount in the nation. That includes emergency shelters, hotel programs, family services, and mental health outreach. Yet, despite the massive budget, the crisis keeps expanding, fueled by unaffordable housing, rising asylum seeker arrivals, and economic inequality. What makes New York's homelessness crisis especially tragic is its invisibility. Many of the unhoused are hidden in shelter systems or institutional housing, making it easy to ignore. Until you walk through Penn Station or Bryant Park. Then, it hits you. The American dream isn't working for everyone. In the end, New York tells a story not just of homelessness, but of resilience, failure, and the urgent need to build a more just urban future.